Welcome to Sal's Classic Bodybuilding Archives. In today's episode, we're going to go back to June 1978, Muscle Builder Power Magazine. Delt Training for the World Title by Mike Mentzer. Enjoy. How well I recall seeing Reg Park in the movies as Hercules. My favorite of the movies was one titled Hercules in King Solomon's Mines, in which Reg seemed to have weighed a good 240 pounds, with shoulders so broad and thick they were the dominant image on the screen. At that time, I was reading all the muscle magazines and read in Muscle Builder how Reg had relied on heavy presses behind the neck to build his fabulous delts, and how he had eventually reached the point where he could perform a single rep in that exercise with 315 pounds. Not only did Reg do his presses heavy, but all the exercises in his routine were performed in a similar manner, thus accounting for his overall thick and Herculean appearance. Physiques like those of Park and Pearl, my idol, became my ideal, so I trained similarly to these champions in hopes of developing a likewise thick and chunky appearance. My own training over the years was therefore marked by much heavy lifting. Having reached a point where I could bench press 460 pounds, squat 555 pounds for reps, and press 300 pounds from behind the neck. The delts of all the torso muscles require the fewest sets, since they are involved indirectly in almost all the exercises intended for the torso muscles, for example, the chest, lats, and traps. Bench presses, flies, and incline presses, while intended to work the pecs, also include the anterior portion of the deltoid. Bent over rows, chins, and pull downs for the lats work all three heads of the delt, though primarily the rear one. And upright rows and power cleans intended for the traps unavoidably work the delts. The front or anterior portion of the delts is the area of the delt most often worked indirectly in other torso exercises. So in order to avoid overworking that area, I've eliminated all direct exercises for that area in my delt work. The core of anyone's deltoid routine should be lateral exercises of both upright and bent over variety. Unless your training is entirely void of any kind of pressing exercises, it is redundant to include a front dumbbell raise for the front delt. The press behind the neck, which works all three delt heads, provides a lot of stimulation for that area and should prove sufficient. In my own routine, delt work follows the back and traps, since they are worked by many of the exercises used for those muscles. The following is a breakdown of the exercises, set and rep protocol that I currently employ for working the deltoids. 1. Extremely heavy overload laterals. Since my delts are so warmed up from the preceding lat and trap work, I launch directly into a heavy set of side laterals. These are done with a slight cheat to get the weight moving, but then muscled to a position shoulder high, followed by a deliberate slow lowering of the weight. The palms of the hand are facing the floor throughout the movement to throw even greater emphasis on the lateral head of the delts. This particular manner of performing the exercise is only done for one set. Next are moderate weight laterals supersetted immediately by slow continuous tension presses behind the neck. Very strict moderately heavy side laterals are performed to a point of failure in order to pre-fatigue the delts. Then, immediately, with no rest, I go to the press behind the neck, emphasizing a slow and deliberate up and down motion of the weight. When I reach a point of failure on the upward motion of the weight, my training partner helps me with several more forced reps, and now an even greater emphasis on the negative or lowering of the weight. The behind the neck presses then are carried to a point where the downward motion of the barbell can't be controlled. Once you complete one of these supersets as described, carrying the final reps of the negatives to failure, you will experience an ache and pump in your delts that you never dreamed possible before. The side laterals should be done strictly for 6 reps, followed by 3 forced reps, and the behind the neck presses should be performed with a weight that allows 6 strict positive reps and 5 more forced and negative reps. At the most, do only 2 supersets. Any more and you will risk overtraining. The last exercise are bent over laterals. 2 sets of moderate weight bent over laterals should conclude your delt routine. I do mine in pulleys as it allows more control for my partner in helping with forced reps. Dumbbells may prove a bit unwieldy in this regard. Again, a weight that allows me 6 strict reps along with 3 forced reps is chosen. This routine is performed on Tuesdays and Fridays following my back workout. Give it a try and let me know how it works out by writing me in care of this magazine. Well, thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe. I would appreciate it. And until the next video, keep training and chasing the dream.